Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lefty from 643 Productions back again with another gameplay commentary. We're going to be talking a little politics today, though not in the way you might think. I did a video a little while ago where I talked about how I wanted to shy away from overt political discussion, and I believe this fits within the thresholds that I set for myself. If you remember, if you watched that video, maybe I'll just put it as a response video, I think. Yeah, I think that might work. It'll be a response video, so go ahead and check it out if you have not. But in that video, I said that I wanted to shy away from political discussion just because, or at least partisan political discussion, because I believe that people are just so ingrained in their beliefs and their ideologies that to discredit one, however valid the criticisms and the discreditation may be, people just take them as personal attacks and they defend them vehemently, and it's just not worth the headache that it brings. However, I added the caveat that I will engage in a little bit of political discussion of some kind were it to get to the point that I believe it would be of some use to most people. And that is what I think I think we have here in terms of the presidential debates. I am not going to watch the presidential debates. Not a minute, not a second of coverage. I am not going to watch the rehashes. I'm even going to shy away from one of my favorite shows, The Daily Show, just so I don't have to see any commentary on the debates, satirical though it may be. I am not going to want to consume any kind of that content just because I see it as superfluous. It doesn't matter. A lot of it doesn't matter. And the reason I'm talking about this in a video with you guys here today, despite what I said about wanting to shy away from political discussion, is that I think I hope that if I make my case before you guys, if I make my case, if I display my reasoning, some of you might read it and acknowledge it, be like, you know what? He's kind of right. And if I've done that, if I get to do that with just one person, I think this video will be worth it. So here's the thing. I'm not going to watch the presidential debates. I'm not. Okay? Said that already, and I'm going to shy away from it whenever and wherever I can because I see it as a waste of time. And it is a waste of time. What you are seeing in the presidential debates and vicariously the presidential election, which, again, I kind of want to, that may be going a little bit too far just in terms of, I don't want to bring an unnecessary headache on myself. But what you see in the presidential debates is something that can be most readily described as bluster. What you are seeing from either candidate in this case and either candidate in any political or presidential debate that I have seen, that I have been a part of, and that I have studied throughout history and that I've seen, what you are seeing can again best be described as bluster. That's all it is. And the reason I don't watch the presidential debates is because despite what the candidates say, again, this is not relegated to just Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. This is any political or presidential debate, within the last, 25, 35 years, and pretty much any presidential debate probably in the next half century. What we are seeing is the ability or the attempt by both candidates to pander to the crowds, to pander towards the center of the voting public. Both candidates, and believe me when I tell you this, inside their campaign headquarters, both candidates know that they've got the hardcore left and right, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. They have those hardcore votes in their pocket. What we see now since the conventions is the dancing back towards the center, right? Because the Democratic and Republican conventions were both really, really Democratic and really, really Republican, respectively. Now they're trying to pander their way back to the center. And despite what you see the candidates say, again, not just relegated to Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, but especially in this case, despite what you see them say and hear them say and what you believe they are trying to make you believe that they will do, not a whole lot's going to change. Whether you elect Mitt Romney, whether you re-elect Barack Obama, whether, in the year 2000, whether you elected Al Gore or George W. Bush after Clinton left office, regardless of all those things, or John Kerry in 2004, regardless of all those things, not a lot is going to change. There are just things that are, one of the most ardent criticisms of Barack Obama is that he ran in 2008 on a platform that was diametrically opposed to pretty much everything Bush did. The Bush tax cuts, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the Patriot Act, all these things he was opposed to and going to get rid of. But then guess what? He was also opposed to Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, and the handling of prisoners there. But one of the most ardent criticisms of Barack Obama is that those things have been not only extended in their presence, but increased in their power and their scope. And all of that is one of the greatest criticisms against Barack Obama. Again, a very valid criticism, but it evidences my point that despite what you see these candidates say in their debates, in their campaign speeches, they're not really going to deviate much from the line that has already been carved by their predecessors and by the global economy, the global geopolitical scene, all those things. They're not going to be able to deviate much. Think about this. President Bush, or George W. Bush, in the year 2000 ran on a campaign, on a platform being harshly critical of Bill Clinton's handling of the military as in a worldwide peacekeeping, liberating role. He criticized the actions in Somalia and Kosovo and all that stuff, and he said, "I don't believe our military should be used by that." Then 2003 rolls along. Where does the U.S. military get sent by old W? Gets sent to Iraq in a liberation role. In a war that was dubbed Operation Iraqi Freedom in-house. From the year 2000, in which Bush campaigned, again, on a platform heavily criticizing Clinton's use of the military in a liberation role, to 2003, where there's Operation Iraqi Freedom and just some bluster about weapons of mass destruction and all those things. You see, the point is this, again, however you feel about the respective candidates, Mitt Romney, Barack Obama, and however you feel about the criticisms leveled against them, however valid they may be, I'm not here to champion any of those causes, but here's the thing that I want you guys to understand, is that throughout history, we have buckets and buckets and reams of paper of evidence that shows that no matter what the presidential candidates say in the lead up to their election, it's not going to deviate much from what actually has been. We've seen it with Barack Obama. That is a very valid criticism of the current sitting president, Barack Obama. We've seen it with George W. Bush. We saw it with Clinton and his tax policy and his economic policy. There's not much that's going to change. And so when you look at history and you see that not much has changed, despite all the radical things past presidential candidates have said, there's no real reason to believe that these presidential candidates saying these rational things are actually going to follow through on them. So that's why I don't watch the presidential debates. That's why I want no part in them. And maybe that's why you should too. Again, think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And you know what? Maybe that's another reason why I don't look too keenly on voting. But that's another video for another time. But anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Remember, likes, favorites, comments, and shares via Facebook and Twitter do help me out. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I am out.